Thanks, Ken. Thanks, everyone, for being here. Really looking forward to Saturday. First opportunity to be a part of the Big 12 SEC Challenge. I know our players are looking forward to it. It's a huge 2 days for us to try and work to continue to get better. Obviously, stating facts, we're not excited about where we're at or how we've played this month, but we are excited about the chance to get better and improve in those areas as we head into Saturday afternoon's game.
After such a tough time the last 8 games, 7 games, I guess, is it maybe refreshing this weekend just to get out of league for a weekend and take a breath a little bit?
Well, I think just for us as a team, it's a great opportunity to reset here. I think we know some of the reasons for our struggles, and everyone's committed to finding a way to get better in those areas, to give ourselves a better chance to be in games and to win games. And so regardless of opponent, there are areas I really want to see us take huge steps forward, not only on the game floor but in practice this week, and we're going to stay committed to doing those things.
Hey, Coach. So, Justice Hill, is there an update on him, or is there a timetable, or is he planning on coming back?
Yes, I would expect Justice Hill will be in uniform Saturday. He will rejoin the team for practice today. What that role is going forward will be determined, but he will be back with the team in practice this afternoon.
Matt, obviously losing a player like him that has to have an effect, and if you get him back, that will help. But is there anything that y'all lost from the way y'all were playing earlier in the season that you've lost in these last few games, and how do you, if so, how do you get that back?
Well, we're a no excuses type program, Scott. We just haven't gotten the job done at the level it needs to be done. Certainly going into the season from June 1 to November 1, without question, Juice Hill and Imwani Wilkinson had earned those 2 starting guard positions. Losing them changed some things for us. But regardless, we have to play better. That's all there is to it. I've got to do a better job as a coach of putting our players in positions to be successful on the offensive end of the floor, and we'll stay committed to trying to improve that. I still think there's a lot of room for growth for us as far as the culture of the program, and that's what I'm really fighting for, that I want established, how hard we play, how we compete every possession, our communication on and off the court, our discipline to eliminate some of these mistakes that are really hurting us right now. So we're committed to making those improvements and improving as a team overall.
Yeah, I guess, where it is right now, a lot of people already want to look towards the future, I guess. And what can you build on this year that will be beneficial for next year? I mean, college sports in general are crazy with the portal, and who knows what your team will look like next year. But what are you trying to instill in these dudes that they'll carry over? And you talk about foundation a lot. Yeah,
the same thing I talked about my first day here. I knew in the short term there would be some challenging times as part of rebuilding a program. But to me, it's about establishing that foundation of your culture, how hard you play, the unselfishness with which you play, the toughness, both physically and mentally on the floor, the accountability, and we believe those 4 things lead to a lot of joy as the 5th value that we instill in the program. And always going to be very upfront. This month of January have not instilled those at the speed that I would like. I think there's a lot of room for growth in those areas that will give us a greater return on our investment as we move forward.
Hey, Coach, how much has your staff and a guy like Cody Toppert helped you sort of navigate throughout the season and even through these, I guess, tougher times?
Oh, we're blessed to have a great staff, experienced coaches who have won at all levels of basketball, do a great job investing in our players and starting to build those relationships. And staff's as disappointed as we all are with recent games and our performance. We remain committed to working hard and staying focused on building our program and building this team so that we can get better. And that's the only way I know to approach it.
Yeah, Texas Tech, obviously, Mark Adams, great defensive team. Just how would you evaluate where they are, what they do well, and with Fardaws, Amac coming back?
Yeah, I think they're relentless in their pressure on the defensive end of the floor. They play a little bit different style of defense from what we've seen here in the last month. Really try to influence you to the baseline and do a great job in their help defense. They swarm the basketball, force a lot of turnovers that in turn gets them out in transition where they're able to convert. So as we all know, we've talked about it, have not gotten it corrected as quickly as we would like, but turnovers has been a major issue for us in our last 5-6 games. And so that's going to be incredibly important on Saturday, the ball security. Offensive end of the floor, really good rebounding team, physical, have great size in their front court. So we know we'll have to do a good job protecting the painted area.
Coach, losing Juice and Mawani is more of a silent player, but I feel like the way he plays is the way he leads. Do you feel like losing those two guys has really hurt you guys?
Well, I think it's presented different challenges. It changes rotations. It puts people in different positions. But that's part of it. I think every team goes through that every year. You have to manage that. Obviously disappointed from Wani that he has to miss the rest of the season. And as I talked about when we announced his injury, really admire his toughness and courage to try and battle through the injury. It just got to a point where it was counterproductive for him. So, that's part of the challenge, but we have players that'll step forward and remain committed to the work we need to put on the practice court and in the film room to learn and improve and make these corrections.
Coach, what did you tap into early in the second half at Arkansas when you made that run? I listened to your post game, like you said, we missed a layup or two, and it's a single-digit game.
Well, I think it's a simple formula for us. I thought coming out to start the second half, we really executed on the offensive end of the floor. Screening was much better. We finished some of those plays at the rim that we struggled to finish in the first half, and then the biggest key was the elimination of the turnovers. And that first half, you have 10 turnovers against a team that's top 10 in the country in transition scoring. That's the key, and again, we have to find some positivity here in the disappointment, and I would certainly point to those stretches, the second half versus Auburn and Arkansas, where we did those things I just talked about. Eliminated the turnovers, executed better, gave ourselves better opportunities to score. It enabled us to change our defensive looks and not play against other teams' transition attacks where you're usually at a disadvantage. And so it's a simple formula, but we have to be more consistent and sustain it for longer periods of time.
In the film study, are you seeing any trends to these turnovers, or are they, cyclical, repetitive? What do you?
It's a little bit of everything, but the ones that really hurt you are the passes that we would call a pick six, that just lead to breakaway layups and dunks. Those are really backbreakers there, and those clearly have to be eliminated. But I think it all comes down to execution, and that's where we have a lot of room for improvement. You have to cut harder, got to screen better. When you receive a pass, you have to catch and rip the ball through violently and see the floor and be strong with the basketball. We have to make better decisions on our drives. All of those things that will give us a better chance to score the ball at a much more efficient rate.